Hindu Council, National General Secretary, office bearers, members, yoga gurus who have joined us today here, who are watching us live, yoga enthusiasts who have been waiting for this day. Namaste to all of you. As Kamalji mentioned, this started with the initiative of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and in 2014 all we had was articulation of his vision that there should be a day dedicated to yoga internationally. And with articulation of that vision, we moved forward. Today we are celebrating the 6th International Day of Yoga, and it has snowballed from there to a movement. It has grown from being a matter of curious interest for few people to a matter of an integral part of their lifestyles of millions of people across the world. Such is the appeal, such is the popularity. I couldn't believe until I started preparing for this year's Yoga Day in the High Commission that in Kenya there will be so many yoga enthusiasts, there will be so many people who would already be familiar with basic yoga postures, there will be very many who would be doing advanced yoga postures. So that's the appeal, that's the commonality, and that's the commonality between India and Kenya also. However, we are celebrating this International Day in the context of COVID-19 crisis. This is a very different context. We've never experienced this in our memory. We are grappling with it. It has created anxiety. It has created fear. It has created loneliness because of the social distancing. It has created anxiety because of the fear of loss of economic opportunities. It has created fear about one's own health, and it has created fear and anxiety about the health of our near and dear ones, our loved ones. So, in this context, we are doing yoga, but in this context itself, yoga is far more relevant than our normal days. As I would like to quote Mr. B.K.S. Iyengar, who was one of the big gurus of yoga. He said that yoga is an ancient science, but a perfect science. It teaches us to evolve with evolution of humanity. It gives us tools to cope up with the evolution. And this COVID has brought a moment in evolution of human history where we need to cope up. As humanity, we need to cope up with this situation. And as I mentioned yesterday, when we were celebrating Yoga Day in High Commission, that yoga is not work out, it's work in. We have to work in because we have hardly any control about the situation outside. We didn't know about COVID. We still can't control COVID. I mean, COVID is on increase. Governments are working, doctors and nurses are working. But what we can do is work in to prime our immunity, both physical and mental, to be better able to deal with the situation. And that's what yoga enables us to do. This time has given opportunity for all kinds of yogis and all kinds of yoga. Those who want to pursue Gyan Yoga have enough time to read, to reflect. Those who want to pursue Bhakti Yoga, they have enough time to be with their deity in the calmness of their homes. Those who want to perform Karma Yoga, this is given a big playground to do what is essential, what is the need of the hour. And I would like to mention Hindu Council of Kenya, which has risen to the occasion and demonstrated a perfect example of Karma Yoga by reaching out to the vulnerable and poor of this country, across the country, every nook and corner of the country, in order to help them with essential food items, with masks, with sanitizers, bringing them at a level where they can cope up much better than otherwise they would. So this is a perfect example of a Karma Yoga. Tens of thousands of doctors and nurses risking their lives are treating the patients, COVID positive patients. What could be a better example of Karma Yoga? That requires yoga. They all are yogis within. Otherwise they will not be able to do this, what they are doing. And otherwise we will not be able to survive, those who deserve to survive. Our High Commission and people back in India, those who have facilitated and are still facilitating return of stranded Indians from across the world, that is a Karma Yoga. We have about 450,000 Indian nationals stranded in different parts of the world. Stranded meaning they were caught unaware. They were there as a tourist, they were there on a business visa, they were there for some family occasion, and one fine day the flights were closed because of the COVID situation and they were stuck. Many of them, a huge majority of them, were pure blue-collared worker in many of the Gulf countries. It was a pure humanitarian exercise to bring them back to their homes so that they can survive and cope up with the situation better. That's another example of Karma Yoga. I mean, in our mission for last month and a half, we are dealing with the stranded Indian in Kenya. We have about 2,500 people who have registered with us as stranded, and we have gone through each case, and this requires us to work almost 24/7 as an emergency. And there are pregnant women, elderly people, terminally ill people, there are people who have lost their jobs, there are people who have finished their work permit. They all needed to be helped. We rose to the occasion. People in India rose to the occasion. We have already sent one flight of 234 passengers who were stranded and had compelling case. We are planning to have 6 more flights in this week, going from Kenya to Mumbai, Delhi, Ahmedabad, Chennai, Kochi, and one flight from Somalia to Hyderabad. So we have 6 flight loads of passengers from Kenya and Somalia going within this week before 27. This really required us to be yogis. This really required us to put our act together, our mind, thought, soul, body, consciousness, all together in one place to be able to carry out this exercise, and we are still doing it. So yoga is not merely an exercise, not some asanas, not just some breathing. Yoga is your action, your selfless action, which I said in these examples, Hindu Council, I mean almost everyone, whosoever is doing. In this situation, I'm delighted that even within this situation, we did not give up. We did not give up celebration of this day, which we got with a lot of difficulty with Prime Minister Modi's vision, but then which got India a support of 175 nations to co-sponsor the resolution which constituted this day. So we should not allow the gains to fritter away. We have to preserve the gains we have made so far. And this is the example of doing that. So I'm very, very thankful to Hindu Council of Kenya, who were with us and we were with them since inception of the planning. I was told that they have a very active network across the country, and in the past years we collaborated. This year we started our planning with them, and yesterday High Commission of India celebrated. Today, when the main day, 21st June, we are celebrating with Hindu Council. Successive days we will celebrate with different regions of Kenya, dedicated session to each of the region. Then we will have a dedicated session to business people, because they are the one who drive the economy and they have to be completely calm, sane and able to deliver in this difficult situation. So we have one session dedicated to the business people and one at the end for the people in Somalia. This is all courtesy Hindu Council, which has provided its infrastructure, yoga teachers in every nook and corner of the country. So I would like to profusely thank and recommit High Commission of India's resources, willingness to work together in this difficult time, and after this difficult time is over. Thank you very much.